A top producer that worked on Tucker Carlson's Fox News program has been sued for sexual assault. Now, this complaint was filed on Monday in federal court in New York by victim Andrew Delancey against Justin Wells, Fox News, and the network's parent company, Fox Corporation. So, Fox, in yet another sexual assault lawsuit. Wow. Here we go. Now, the complaint alleges that Wells had sexually assaulted Delancey while the former was employed as a producer on Greta Van Sustren's show. It further alleges that Wells, despite the allegations, continued to be promoted by Fox News, eventually helping to launch Tucker Carlson's weeknight show and then reaching the rank of senior executive producer and vice president. He's now, by the way, considered to be Tucker Carlson's right-hand man. Now, Wells was fired from the network when Carlson was ousted and is actually now a producer on Tucker Carlson's streaming show on Twitter/X, which I'm actually surprised is still ongoing. All right, now, the complaint actually shows a history of this dating back to 2007, when Delancey was working in Florida at a Fox affiliate. They actually connected through Facebook, a Facebook Fox News employees group. And so they began, talking, and Wells actually encouraged Delancey to get a position in New York, to apply for one. Delancey ended up getting it, moving to New York, where Wells began giving him a lot of attention, personal attention. We're talking like personal monogrammed gifts, okay? As well as promises and reminders that, hey, look, I'm pretty high up in the company. I could help you out with your career. We should become friends. We should hang out. In fact, about a month after the move to New York City, they were hanging out. They had plans to, go see some other Fox News people that work there, fellow, colleagues at a restaurant or bar. And, well, it didn't exactly go as planned. There was some alleged sexual assaults. This wouldn't actually happen. And I say assaults because there was more than one that very evening. I don't want to get into the details. You can read the complaint yourself. But let me just tell you, it's aggressive. It was very aggressive. Delancey, again, said no multiple times. Wells allegedly, from this encounter, did not want to take no for an answer. At one point, the complaint claims that Wells was clearly annoyed by Mr. Delancey's continued refusal to submit to Wells' aggressive sexual assaults. Yikes. And after several that happened in the apartment, attempts, and even in the stairwell, Delancey ended up getting away, leaving, and again, a horrible situation. Very, very disturbing. The complaint further on goes on to say that Fox News, where they factor into it, that they fostered this atmosphere. They said it's a workplace where sexual harassment notoriously runs rampant. And yeah. Look, Roger Ailes had quite the reputation. And then you had Bill O'Reilly and the falafel, Ed Henry, again, on and on. Now, Delancey had allegedly even told fellow coworkers about the assault, but again, nothing really happened. One female colleague allegedly told Delancey that Wells had also sexually harassed her, but the network took no corrective action whatsoever. Delancey alleges that his supervisor not only instructed him not to complain to HR about Wells' assault, but was themselves committing various types of misconduct, including encouraging coworkers to drink alcohol and make inappropriate remarks about other Fox employees and to conceal discussions from upper management. Wow. And if that's not bad enough, it gets worse because now there's alleged retaliation. The complaint claims that Wells had made verbal threats as well as allegedly stopping his career progression at Fox in New York City. Delancey ended up returning to his previous job in Tampa just to get away. Wells' attorney, Harmeet Dillon, says he denies the allegations unequivocally and will contest them vigorously. Now, Delancey, he's bringing this lawsuit under the Adult Survivors Act, which is a New York law that created a new one-year statute of limitations for victims of sexual assault to come forward and make claims. And so we've seen actually a couple of lawsuits come from this new statute, which is good to see. And in fact, Delancey says he was inspired by the Me Too movement to come forward. Now, he is also represented by the same firm that previously represented Abby Grossberg, former Fox News producer who had alleged to have faced gender discrimination and anti-Semitism while working at the network. She recently settled with the network for $12 million in the summer. So, I mean, again, horrific situation, not exactly shocking considering the atmosphere. So, one more thing from this complaint, which like really kind of hit me, okay? So, back in 2017, this is, nearly 10 years after the assault, okay? Delancey wrote a Facebook post describing how an unnamed person of great power in the media landscape of NYC had initially flattered but then attacked him, but then, quote, got pissed when I didn't just lay there and take it and kicked me out into the cold. So he writes this post, doesn't name any names, okay? Delancey alleges that the next evening, at nearly 4 a.m, Wells contacted him through Facebook out of the blue. This is after several years of no contact between them, okay? He privately messaged Mr. Delancey saying this, quote, "Hey, saw your post. I'm sorry that happened to you." Who was it? Who was it? Like he doesn't know. Again, I know. These are allegations. They have to be proven in court. I get it. We've got to go through due process. Okay. But seriously though, who was it? I'm sorry this happened. You. At least that's what the allegations are. That's terrible. But what's even worse is Tucker Carlson's response to it. Completely dismissing it. Quote, "As a general matter," this is what he wrote, "if you believe you've been the victim of a sex crime, you have a moral obligation to alert police, so it doesn't happen to someone else. If you wait 15 years to cash in with a civil suit, no one should take you seriously. I certainly don't." Like, you can hear that in Carlson's smug voice. And maybe the little laugh, the weird laugh that he does afterwards. Just an absolute disgusting response. Even if you don't believe him, right? Tucker Carlson, making that kind of statement is just absolutely incredibly dismissive. Not even a defense of his friend, but just a pure, unadulterated attack, saying that, oh, you should have done the moral thing to alert police, but you didn't. So obviously you're not moral and you're just looking for a payday. Absolutely gross. Gross. This is why people don't come forward. That's the reason people don't come forward. And then, of course, you get the "why didn't you come forward sooner?" And it's incredibly difficult for people to come forward. Survivors of sexual assault are heaped with shame and blamed for their own assaults, and then dismissed when they don't come forward soon enough. But there's never any good time frame to, for the people who did the assault, for their victims to come out. There's never a good time frame. There's always an excuse. And that's what I'm seeing here. The only question to me that's left in my mind, because I do believe this victim, the question I have is, how soon do you think Fox News is going to settle? How soon do you think that they're going to try to make this go, sweep this whole thing under the rug?